not nice having to see that there is a repetition. Fathers, train your children. There's a larger percentage, like in a gathering of friends, maybe getting to know each other, or strangers wanting to get acquainted. Have you found out that most of them were raised solely by their mothers, or their parents actually lived together but their father was an inactive one? The word inactive, because there's a difference between being a father and being a daddy, or being a father and being an active father. Today might be a little bit raw, and I hope we can be able to take it with our full chest, because we just have to do better. We have to do better. As the young people coming up, there is a repetition of past generation. I don't know if that's the best way to put this, but now I do not understand why people would not want to take responsibility for their kids. See, children, they watch, they look, they grow on you. I don't know the best way to put this, but I was once a child. Of course, I'm still a child to my parents. And I got to find out that over time, what I did not want, I was gradually becoming it. And that was because I was just too scared. I was just too, do you know that there was a point in my life where I did not want to be identified as a lady? Not because I grew up in, childhood was not a mess, because my mom was strongly active, you understand. I grew up in a family where it was mostly my mom doing most of the stuff. That's the truth. My father did more of, let me not say more of financial, because my mom was also giving. Once you don't drop money for school fees, for this, for that, you need this, take, there's no time to sit down. And as girls, sometimes we really want our fathers to be the first person to tell us what love is about, to teach us what love is about by how he shows our mother. I don't know if every child is like that, but sometimes when I get to sit down with people like around my age grade, or would I say young married women, when we get to sit down and we get to talk, and some of them were raised by mostly their moms, they get to say like, oh, I'm having this issue in my marriage because I didn't see my father do it for my mom, so I believe like it's a normal thing. Some people will say, that's the reason why I have a problem, because he doesn't do it. He must do it. And even when he's doing it, you don't get to see it because you want him to overdo it. You want him to do the one that he's going to do for you, and the one they would have done for your mother. He should do the two of them for you. I really do not understand why you would bear what you can rear. Please, bear what you can rear. Try as much as possible. Women will as much as stay in abusive marriages and say that it is because of their kids. Now, there are reasons for exception. Please do not get me wrong. Try to understand where I'm coming from. There are reasons for exception as to why, a father might walk out on the home, or a father might walk out on the marriage. It's just, sometimes we just need to really calm down and think things. Hello, beautiful people. It's still your girly girl Didi, and you're welcome back to my channel. Out, like, I don't know if it's a recent something, I've been getting to see a whole lot of nuisance. I've been seeing a lot of nonsense that I do not want to see. When you go to the salon, you hear gist about young boys having kids and telling you, hey, you have the child, when I have money, I will sort it out. When you go to the supermarket, when you go to the market, when you hang out with friends, you hear situations about boys forgetting that there's a zipper on the trouser. You understand that they can, hold themselves. I don't understand. I'm not going to say it is particular to a tribe or it's particular to a nationality. This is a general discussion. Please bear what you can rear. There are reasons for exception, like abuse and a whole lot of that, like people coming out after marriage, after the whole lot, to come and say there is no compatibility, and then children are already involved in the marriage and they are not ready to co-parent. So this fathers, please train your children. Fathers, train your children. It is only when it comes to civilization that we hear that there's a generation gap. Let us not repeat what was repeated before. I know that a lot of therapists and psychologists will tell you that broken homes are stemmed from broken homes. Like, you know, the way they say flesh attracts flesh. Like a man who would not, or who is not ready to stay in his marriage, or a woman who is not ready to stay in her marriage is actually a product of a broken home. Let us not repeat these things, because it has broken so many adults, and a whole lot of adults are still broken. Now, I'm not sure people really pray for money. Yes, so people really pray for money. Don't get me wrong. People do pray for money. A whole lot. But everybody wants fixing. Almost every adult is broken. And most of these things stemmed from the marriages of our parents. Now, not every parent's marriage was broken. Not all of them. Some parents still lived together, but the father was not active. Now, there are reasons why some mothers are not active too. It's a two-way thing. But I'm only speaking about this because it's a larger percentage of men that are inactive fathers than women who are inactive mothers. Let us try to just make things easy for the generation. Only a man can raise a boy. Only a man can lead a man. Yes, God will lead a man, but it only takes a father to raise a good son. Mothers raise a good son too. But you know that there is this identity that boys want to have. You cannot compare. Mothers do an excellent job. Don't get me wrong. Mothers, I congratulate every one of you who stood by, irrespective of what the decision was that made you stay to raise your children. But fathers, this is for you. I beg all of you to please try your possible best to be active. It is not wrong to be active. This is not the victim card. This is not trying to, compare gender. No, that's not what this is. This is just a call for fathers to raise their children. Daughters want to see what love looks like before they finally meet their first love at the age when it is due. And they want to see that from the way you show their mother. Sons need to know how women are supposed to be adored, loved, cherished, taken care of. And they see that, or they not even, these things are things that love is not what you teach a person. Yes, women are moved by what they hear and men are moved by what they see. Please. All of this thing is just English and, trying to justify some things or trying to explain science. But please, I'm talking about family life, because marriage is a big of a deal. It is a huge responsibility. It's a call to assignment. Please, family is that subset that makes every single thing. Adam and Eve was a family before Cain and Abel and Seth and other of their children. Abraham and Sarah was a family before Haggai and Ishmael and Isaac. A whole lot of it's about family. The society consists of families. The church consists of families. The street and estate consists of families. The community consists of families. The nation consists of families. Why then has family become the hottest pressure pot in the world? Like, no air is going out. It's just hurting kids and hurting people, and you understand what I'm trying to say. Please, let us try as parents, even women too. But today is going to be a Father's Day. I'm not a therapist or a pastor or a doctor, but I am just one of the young adults that now has her own home and has these traces of brokenness or damage in her life because of her parents' marriage. My parents I would not want to say it was abusive, but I would say that my mom was the most active in the marriage. My father believed that when he drops money, everything is fine. And not every time did he actually drop, because he was so stern and in my words, a disciplinarian. Now, I got to find out a whole lot of things that, or had to learn a whole lot of things that were not supposed to be learned. And even in my marriage, in my new marriage, to some extent, it has even affected me. I had to sit down and talk to my husband about it, like, oh, this is how I feel. And I feel, and you know, we were able to arrive at we had to sit down together like a therapy to just talk about these things. And it's just not nice, in my opinion. Do not forget, this is my opinion. If you know you are not ready to father a child, do not have one. Young people are everywhere having children and leaving these children for their parents to relieve baby upbringing. It might not be a problem for some parents, but how about the ones that the parents will tell you that they have raised you and you will raise your own? It's born, I born you, you born your own. It's train, I train you, you will train your own. And then these children just, you know, act the way they feel. Like, not every one of the moms or the dads are ready to endure and sacrifice for their children. That's the truth. They are not, not all of them are ready to. Only a small percentage is ready to go down that line. Others believe that last we go day okay. Last we not go day okay, because this child is going to become an adult. There are several stages in a child's life. There are even several stages in an adult's life. Do not gamble with the life of your child like, would I say, like our parents gambled with ours? To some extent, my parents don't really know, what they did in their marriage and the lengths to which it affected me. But in my marriage, I try as much as possible to. I've been able to have a conversation with my mom, and you know, sometimes it makes me extremely teary, where I feel like, she was left to sort things out. You know, I felt like, sometimes I feel like, I'm my mother's child. Yes, my father's blood is in my DNA. I don't even know the person. I bear my father's name before I got married. But I felt like I really did feel, or I would not say I still feel, but I felt like, my father, played a card of it's her children. How about we give our kids a conducive environment and be able to involve God in our marriage or in our union or in the upbringing of these children? It's not easy for a father to raise a child alone, and it's not easy for a mother to raise a child alone. You know, a man saying she's a woman, so she's strong. If you cannot live with your mother and have sense, even if I'm there, you will not have brain. Do you know the depth of that word? Yes, you are trying to attribute strength to the woman, but you are damaging your children. No such child. It's the truth. See, as much as we try to claim we are strong women, we are strong. Who is here? Shakara, shakara, shakara. Okay, I did put beat here. It's really sounding like bell or something. So, it's not the same. You cannot compare a child that was raised by both parents with a child that was raised by one parent. And it's a larger number of children that were raised solely by their mothers than with the activeness or full activity of their fathers. That's why I'm really directing this to fathers. Not because I have any phobia for men or any issue with men, but you need to, a man must protect his daughter. A man must protect his sons, because there are a whole lot of things that parents don't even know that children learn. Children grow on you. Children learn a lot of things from you. I don't have my kids yet, but sometimes not like I get worried, but I try and I pray, and yes, I still have that fear of, I really do want to protect them because of what I'm going through or what my husband did go through too. I want to protect my kids. We want to protect this, our kids. And this new generation, I don't even understand. Is it because of the people have been spoiling the child and leaving the rod? In fact, hanging the rod. They believe there's just this thing with we young people where we believe that, we can do anything. Is it not this life? That was the olden days. It is the medieval period. It is the archaic times. It's not it. There's no such thing like that. You come out and then you try to justify the fact that you're a teenage mom. Yes, abuse. There are reasons for people being teenage mothers. I will not in any way try to take or attribute blame to any of these, victim or these statistics. But all I am saying is simple. Fathers, stay and be active. You have a whole lot of things to do. Even God commanded that fathers train their children. When God was talking to Abraham about raising Isaac, he said Abraham, him, should raise his son. If you would understand me, a man, don't let these young men start reliving, their in-laws' marriage. Because if a girl is broken, if a girl is already laid back at what her parents had already done, it will be difficult at some point for her to be able to relate well with men. And eventually when she gets married, it would, have that little traces in her marriage that her husband will have to start dealing with. Don't let innocent men partake in your sin. Because at that point where she already has that fear of, her not reliving her parents' marriage, she cannot trust her husband. It depends on what her parents' marriage wahala was. She would have issues. She could be very scared and timid. There are people that have buried who their God's given nature is. What they are supposed to be has been drained because of the fear and, being so scared and timid when it comes to a man. They do not want to relate well. Even they have this, some even assume that, when I get married, this is going to happen, that is going to happen. There's this fear. Sometimes you lose yourself. And self is who you want people to know as yourself. Do you get me? Like, self is the person behind the person. This thing just becomes a cycle, because you are trying not to, you want it to, and then, unconsciously you even start to become, either, what's that word? Out of the fear of you do not want to become a thing, you either unconsciously become that thing or become worse. Like, it either makes you so choked or it leaves you very empty because you are so cautious. You are trying to, you understand, guide your heart, guide your mind, guide your this and that, and it just becomes, extremely toxic. Please, let men sit down and be active husbands and fathers, if not for the purpose of their spouses, for the purpose of their children. It will go a long way. My mother would say, the face of who chop and who not chop not be the same thing. Not be laugh that they count teeth. So who never eat belle empty, who don't chop belle, even if na gari drink, something dey inside. You not fit compare empty pure water nylon and the one way full together. Half and full not be the same thing. Please, I beg of you, please, let us try, even as parents, with everything we're going through, to check on our kids, how far they have come, and still make them feel it's okay, and encourage them to be the parents that would, be active parents, award-winning parents that their own kids will want to be like. So kindly share this piece, kindly subscribe to my channel and hit that bell so that when we upload content like this, when we upload conversations and discussions like this, you wouldn't miss out on it. So if you could, if we want to, the comment section is open though, but if we want to hear a lot of comments, they will write to us. that we should pipe it down, because everybody has a story, and you know, there are different things. In fact, let us share this thing, because it's experiences. It's something we should learn from, because in life, now where you work rich, you see rich. Where you work rich, now you see rich. So please share. I love you guys. Bye.